Okay, you all, let's get this live stream going. Come in, hit like and hit share. Hit like and hit share. Say hello, drop your city and or state. Let's go. Let me know where you from. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up, right? When the music ends, I'm going in. When the music ends, I'm going in. At the echo, you all hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. Come in. Let's hit that thumbs up. Let's get you all prepared. Let's get you recession proof, right? Recession proof. Evictions in today. Evictions in today. We got New York and hello, New York. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, New York. Let's go, New York. Let's get you all recession proof. Okay. With the Barney. The Barney picture. I love you, you love me, right? My opinion. You're curious to hear my opinion concerning what? I am rocking my cornrows today, and I really like it. Like it in a sense because I just, put a little bun at the back showing my cornrows because I've did some research about the cornrows were used, right, during slavery, right, for escaping and for freedom during slavery. So let me make sure my camera is angled correctly. In 1 second. Let me make sure. Okay, I think that's good. Now it looks straight. The eviction moratorium, right? The eviction moratorium. No, I'm serious. It was used for slavery, for escape codes, right? I wasn't joking about the cornrows or trying to be make funny or make anyone laugh. I thought that was very um, very interesting information. How smart our ancestors were and the taxes that they used to escape, right, during slavery. So again, you all come in, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, hit the thumbs up, as well as let's get into eviction moratoriums as well. Last night, I passed by a Red Roof Inn, and this was on a Thursday night, and it was packed. I don't know if you can see this that well. I didn't. I don't think I can enlarge it, but it was packed. Right, Red Roof Inn on a Thursday. No event, nothing going on in the area. This is just jam packed under the security lights, the front parking, and some more of the back parking. That was jam packed. Right when I passed by the Red Roof Inn. Biden has already said that he would definitely shut down the economy. I was listening to this video. Again, you all make sure that you hit the thumbs up. And I want to share this with you concerning another YouTuber. I thought this was, I want to share this clip with you all. But Biden has already said that he would definitely shut down this economy. Again, I'm expecting in September, because September begins the Shemitah, right? The Shemitah, if you don't know what Shemitah is, it's the biblical blueprint that has been guaranteed for the last 7 years since 1966. It has not been inaccurate since 1966. The biblical blueprint, right, of every 7 years of recession has occurred or happened in the United States since 1966. This time, it is going to be the greatest, right, depression that this generation has ever experienced. If you read about the 1933's 33 Great Depression, it is compared to this, right? Many people are wondering, however, how can an airborne virus, right? How can an airborne virus still be dominant in high temperature weather, right? Because you all know that we are built on seasons, right? Winter, spring, summer, fall. And during the summer, any airborne um, viruses such as the flu, pneumonia, the common cold, right? And even with a summer cold, usually it's because of, the if you're swimming or and you're getting heat, you know, that usually bring water, recreation activities usually bring on summer colds, but a summer cold, but you already know that when it comes to the flu or pneumonia during the summer, it is not dominant because of the heat, and it drives out any airborne virus. But however, according to the media, which is controlled by big corporations, right? Meaning that what you see on the news is definitely controlled, right? Um, this and name has been changed. Another thing I thought about, the flu has always remained the flu, even though it's different strands of the flu. But it for the most part, right, the name of it has continued to be the flu throughout the years. Pneumonia has always been pneumonia, but and I don't want to say the word, right, because YouTube will sometimes not allow the views to go through, or the views will drop. But this is the only airborne virus that name has been changed and transformed into something else. So these are just things that I want you all to put on your thinking cap and ask yourself why, right? Why did it change from COVID? Well, first it was coronavirus, then it was COVID-19, and now it's the Delta virus. When the flu has always been the flu, right? Um, Pneumonia has always been pneumonia, and a cold has always been referred to as a cold. Three different name changes, right? Three different name changes. And yes, a cold and flu in the summer may be horrible, but it is not dominant. That's my point. It doesn't dominate in the summer. You have less cases, is what I'm saying, right? Less cases. And so you have the governor of Texas, and you all make sure you hit the thumbs up. You still have less cases in the summer of the flu, the cold, and pneumonia. But the governor of Texas, he banned the vaccine and mask mandates in Texas, right? And even in Texas, it's been triple digit temperatures. The media is still reporting that the case numbers are rising or on the rise, even in triple digit heat index, right? So again, the numbers are not declining in triple digit heat index, right? According to the media. And so the order bans government entities from requiring masks or documentation. So a lot of people are probably going to be flocking to Texas. for their freedom, right, and their rights, but ban requiring of the mask or vaccine documentation for employees. And it also disallows private businesses from mandating mask or vaccine passports for customers. Fines of $1,000 will be issued out to those who violate this order, and private entities receiving state funding are at risk of losing the funding if they go against the order. Um, and so again, it switched from Corona to COVID to now Delta. I've never seen a virus go through 3 name changes within 3 years, right? And Lee, you're absolutely correct. Correct. I have not heard of anyone having a flu or pneumonia in a long time either. I don't even think they're diagnosing, right? I don't even think they're diagnosing. So we have someone who evidently believes everything that the media reports. As he says, 97% of people in the hospital did not get vaccine. This is obviously media reporting news that's manipulated, and it's cases like this where people believe it, right? Because I just read a report that said that the CDC has made a statement that vaccine people can still get the new name Delta virus as well, right? And so if all of these people are hospitalized, right? If all of these people are hospitalized, then it will be clear evidence. It will be, I don't think we will have room, but that's not really why I came on this live stream, right? We'll be flooding, just like the eviction moratoriums are showing people are being homeless. Because when you pass by, like I did, the Red Roof Inn on a Thursday, and you see no parking available, right? No parking available, because I know more non-vaccinated people than vaccinated, and none of them have been hospitalized. So I go by firsthand knowledge. I do not go by what I see on the media. I don't even watch the news that much. I go by firsthand knowledge, and firsthand knowledge of close relatives that I know that have been, as we have exactly 111 people on that have been diagnosed with COVID. They already had cancer or some pre-existing health condition that was detrimental as well. And people that I know that got vaccinated have been diagnosed as having the I don't know what to call it, Corona, COVID, or Delta. Again, 3 different names. The flu has always been the flu, and pneumonia has always been pneumonia, right? Also, a lot of people wearing masks throughout the summer are reporting more asthma problem, breathing issues. Because, of course, if you're breathing in your carbon dioxide all day and you're not getting pure oxygen from the environment, those are some repercussions. And so this is where we are, right? This is where we are. I'm trying to read comments, but I'm really not, right? Um, but I have some oxygen plants in my home, right? Um, because that's the God's system. That's the infinite power system of health and healing. Breathing oxygen from his plants and release carbon dioxide to the plants and flowers as well. So let's get back to the eviction moratoriums. And you all, thank you all for coming in and commenting. I can't read all the comments, but thank you for commenting and sharing your thoughts, whether it's in agreement with mine or not, right? Another thing that I do is the water I drink. I have, this is just an Ankh symbol, but it's 24 karat gold. I place my water under it, and it gets all the toxins out of any water that I drink, whether it's spring water, bottled water. I have oxygenated plants in my home. I have things against radiation in my home. This is one of the pyramids that I have. People need to protect themselves against radiation that has copper in it. because I have my computers and things. And so when we move to mobile money, right, digital dollars, right, because August the 15th marks the anniversary, the 50 year, no fiat currency has lasted past 50 years. No paper currency, right? No paper currency. And you also have the 50-year jubilee in the Bible. No fiat currency. So August the 15th marks the 50th year that President Nixon removed the dollar, and made the dollar debt and removed it from the gold standard. So when you look at all of these dates and things that's in alignment, it is a perfect storm, right, for a health issue to be blamed for the changing of a currency system, right? Is more convenient to claim a health pandemic than just to be honest and say, listen, we are deconstructing the currency system. And we have to because everything that has happened, recessions, everything happened to the economy has been in alignment with the Bible. And they have to go by the Bible. Government has to abide by the biblical rules and standard of what has to happen. That means reparations for many people in the Black and brown community from the ill effects of slavery that started in 1619 and marked its 400-year anniversary in 2019, right? You have already other currencies that have already had a history of collapsing. This one is the Venezuela dollar that I have that collapsed. It's no longer worth anything. One lady from Venezuela, for example, says she went to make groceries, and left a wheelbarrow full of these Venezuela dollars, and they stole the wheelbarrow and left the dollars just on the sidewalk, on the pavement, because the wheelbarrow was more valuable than this currency. And so for people that don't know what's going on and that's being injected with something that was created at warp speed, right? I wish you well with your health, and that, yeah, I wish you well. But again, it's nice and convenient that at these dates and deadlines of the dollar reaching its 50th year, that the United States and globally, as a global reset of the financial system is happening, right? That global cryptocurrency is also more dominant and being put in place now more than ever. And so for people that know the history, the future is very easy to predict, right? You can't say what is capable of not happening when you don't know what has already happened. Oh, this, they will never do that. How they've already done it in the past. You just don't know your history and you don't do your research about the economy. We have Bitcoin today, for example, up 4%, and it's going to continue to rise going into August the 8th. 8 is the number of new beginning from an end of a thing. 7 is the number of reset, rest, crash, right? As we have Ethereum at $2,434. So why is Bitcoin rising higher, or cryptocurrency, than the dollar? If this currency system reset is not going to happen, if the currency transition is not going to take place. We have XRP, the global currency system for the central banks, that's up 8%, right? Bitcoin, the widely accepted global currency. Ethereum, the mind behind the global currency system change and reset. So everything is in the green and expecting it to remain in the green for the month of August. Because again, 7 biblically means On the seventh day, God rested, or the infinite powers rested. Rest means to bankrupt, to crash. And this was the symbolism of the Miami condos, as well as the symbolism in 2001 of the Twin Towers. See, history does not always repeat itself, but it often rhymes, right? History may not repeat itself, but it often rhymes. So guess what? Guess what? I'm not just giving you bad news, but I'm giving you a plan to prepare, right? I said last night on my live stream, now is the time to plan, to plant. We talked about seeds, sowing seeds, so that money that's been locked up can be unlocked and released to you, right? Seed sowing, we made the acronym for that. Seeds opens wealth. So Shemitah, the next Great Depression and the next great wealth transfer. This is what the Twin Towers represented in 2001, and the twin condos collapsing in Miami in 2021. You're going to see two sides of the equations. Some people will suffer through the Great Depression, right? And some will experience, for those who position themselves, that need to be my other P. You need to position, you need to plan, you need to plant seeds, you need to sow, right? Seeds opens wealth. Sow, SOW, and you need to prepare. Position yourself, prepare, and plant seeds, right? And basically you need to just, I used to say your pineal gland, but I'm getting to the point now where I'm just saying people use common sense. Are you asking yourself these thought-provoking questions? How can an airborne virus still thrive and dominate in triple-digit degree weather and heat index? And why has the name been changed 3 times? See, the number 3 in the Bible on the third day, and on the third day, right? Every seed-bearing plant was produced. On the third day in the New Testament, thank you, C.D. Till, a miracle happened at a wedding in which water was turned into wine. 3 represents a chemical change effect. Seeds go into the ground, they come up, and they are fruit. Water had a chemical change effect on the third day of the wedding, and Jesus turned water into wine. So the number 3 represents a chemical change effect. And this virus has had three, right? 3 different name changes. 3 different name changes. Give me 1 second. Someone is signing up for the home-based business. Let me return this text message to them. So 3 different name change. 3 different name changes, right? And so 3, chemical change effect. What chemicals are in the jab? No one knows, right? No one knows. And so now we have Shemitah, the next Great Depression, and both will happen at the same time. It starts every 7 years, according to the biblical calendar and the Feast of Trumpets, right? And so this will be the 9th Shemitah. 9 means divine communication in the Bible, right? 50th Jubilee means divine order, that it will happen. And so according to Leviticus 25, 1-5, debts will be forgiven. So you all will see some debt forgiveness. I was reading articles today about colleges and institutions already counseling out student loan debts, for example. And then Leviticus 25, right? It says that will be a blessing for you in the sixth year. In the sixth year. And when you are sowing, again, sow, SOW, seeds, open wealth, right? In the eighth year, you can still eat old things. So that means you won't be in a position that many people will be in from the Great Depression, where what they will be in a starvation state. You will be sustained through this. This is going to last longer. As Dan, I can't pronounce Dan last night, Panina said, this is going to last longer than any amount of savings or money that you have in your checking account, right? This is going to last longer than that. And so now you have, let's go back to the 400 years of slavery. And America has been supernaturally blessed for the past 400 years. And why is that? Because of slavery that marked this 400-year anniversary of 20 African Americans being forced to America to be indoctrinated into slavery. That 20th year anniversary happened in 2019, right? Happened in 2019. And so in the book of Genesis, you have God promises, right? God promises that when that 400 years ends, that his lost people will be redeemed and have reparations for the affliction of slavery. Now, Genesis 15 and 13 is the exact scripture that says that. Now, many people are saying, no, this already happened when Pharaoh let the people go. No, that was 400 plus years of slavery. This is exactly 400 years. So it could not mean that slavery of Pharaoh's letting those people go when they split the Red Sea, because that was approximately 430 years to be exact. So Genesis 15 and 13 says, and Abraham said, now of a certainty that the seed of the stranger in the land will serve them and afflict them for 400 years. See, when Africans was brought to America and indoctrinated and forced into slavery, they were strangers into this land. But Abraham's seed has to be, right, has to have reparations. And this is why you all are hearing about reparations now for people in the Black and brown community now more than ever. Why beach property in California that's estimated worth valued at $75 million is being rewarded back to the Black family after the government had control over it for 100 years. This is why you're going to see breakthroughs for many Black and brown people who have been fighting for years for reparations and their rights restored, right? And so with that being said, let's go down the timeline that shows that every 7 years already up to date in 2021, that we've had a recession as the Bible predicts, right? We've already had a recession. So let's go through this timeline real quick for people who want to debate if this is really a setup to reset the economy. Well, let's look at history, right? Let's look at the numbers. Men lie, women lie, but numbers never lie. So the first Shemitah began in 1966, right? In August. It always happened in August and September, around those time frames. And in the fall, more going to the fall season, because those are the seven, according to astrology, the seventh house. And again, seven means to crash or to reset. And 8 is the beginning of the ending. And so you have the beginning September the 14th, the market reached its low, right? Shemitah was the nearly the low, and the low, it is near low. Then approximately 7 years later, 1977, right? Roe versus Wade case was a big case during that time in 1973. From 1966 to 1973, And you had a currency crash, oil crisis also that happened in 1973, right? And the U.S. military was weakened after the Vietnam War. And then you have 7 years later, 1980, a double dip recession happened. The Dow Jones dropped from 903 to 759. The S&P 500 dropped from 140 to 102, right? So we had a double dip recession. Then exactly 7 years later, 1987, Black Monday, 33% of the stock market was wiped out, right? And the federal threw a lot of money at the problem, right? Creating a, a confident market, and they gave money to people who caused the crash to pay off their debts. So this was in 1987. So now we're in the 90s, right? Exactly 7 years later, 1994, the Great Bond Market Massacre, right? The Federal Reserve had to raise the bond rates to 4.75% to then 5.5% in November, which nobody expected, right? So we had the Great Bond Market Massacre. And then in 2000, 2001, you have 9/11, right? 9/11 to happen. And then 2007, 2008, you had the housing market crash. It was called the Great Recession. This was deemed and the Great Depression, the worst since the Great Depression, but this one is going to be the worst since the Great Depression. And then also the stock market plunged exactly 777.777. A reset for some, greatest wealth transfer for others. Then in 2015, $11 trillion from the world, 11 are my numbers, $11 trillion from the world financial institutions was wiped out. So do you all think since 2015 to 2021 that this trend is going to stop? You don't think the government knows? See, the people don't know. The people don't know. You all don't know. And you are overwhelmed by distractions. Distractions. Overwhelmed by distractions. And that's what the Bible talks about when a man sow a seed, that birds will get some of the seed. People are distracted. The news, the media, whether to vaccine or not to vaccine, you got the vaccinated people against the unvaccinated. The vaccinated saying it's the unvaccinated fault, and the unvaccinated is saying that the vaccinated don't know this information. They're not woke. Then you have sports, right? And then you have steaks and seafood and vacationing. And after people been quarantined, they ready to get out and party and eat the way they want to eat, rather than change their health habits to conform to the Wi-Fi that's released and upgraded to power this new cryptocurrency globally. Why do you think they're going to Mars now more than ever? Because they have to put satellites on the moon to make sure people in rural areas have that Wi-Fi signal that they need to do mobile banking. And these poor countries as well, they'll have available Wi-Fi for everything, right? And so the birds, according to the Bible, when the farmer would go out and sow, two things happen. The birds would eat the seeds. And the other seeds is people making bad financial decisions. And then it talked about what was good ground. It talked about thorny grounds, right? Things that distract people, little things that cheat people out of opportunities. Poor, the acronym for poor is passing over opportunities repeatedly. Poor mindset versus a rich mindset. Distractions, things that cheat people out of an opportunity. And then I'm going to start talking now about the home-based business. that's at a great investment cost of $129. The regular price was $229. They giving you a $99 credit to help position you and help prepare you, right? Because there are some people who, I know you find this strange, but they have not used their stimulus or their unemployment, which ends September the 6th. And the next Shemitah, as I showed you all that time frame, is scheduled to begin September the 7th of this year. So isn't it ironic, don't you think, that the unemployment from the government ends, right? Ends a day before Shemitah, the biblical timeline for economic reset is scheduled to begin. So September the 6th, federal unemployment for the 26 states that's still offering their residents the 300 weekly unemployment plus the state, right? And right, people blame, people actually blame rich people. They don't really blame poor people. Poor people blame rich people. Well, rich people don't have to pay that much in taxes. Or, rich people should be taxed more. No, rich people know how to plan. They know how to research. They know how to educate themselves of what I'm sharing with you. And they ask themselves thought-provoking questions that makes common sense. Because what a lot of people don't know, that in 2019, when this health pandemic first came on the scene, the banks were broke. It's called the repo market. And I'm not talking about your vehicle being repossessed. For most middle class or poor working class people, the most they know about the word repo means a vehicle is being repossessed. No, the repo market in the banking world means that banks went broke in 2019. And the government have to pump trillions into the banking markets. They had no money to lend out. And they kept that discreetly and undercover from the people. So it was a repo market event that happened. And then to get people to not look for loans or credit, the quarantine suggestion came about and a shutdown happened. And again, our president says he's not afraid to do another shutdown. Again, let me share this video with you all. Maybe 2 or 3 clips from that. So my question for you is, how are you planning for your economic? Okay, if you got the jab and you feel like you're preparing yourself for your health, how are you preparing yourself for your economy? That's the question that I'm presenting to you today. So let's listen in at this.
And it's this eviction moratorium that's set to expire in the next 12 hours. Biden and the Biden administration are trying to extend it. However, it looks like it's going to expire. And when it does expire, what we will see is a whopping 10 million people that could be displaced. 10 million people. A whopping 3.6 million would likely be evicted and be displaced in the next 2 months. 144,000 people would be displaced in Florida alone. This is a massive issue. And when we put this up against Biden talking about new potential closures, if he is told that he should close schools, businesses, close the economy down again, he will do it. So we have all of these people displaced. We have the business sector closed, schools closed. When you close schools, who takes care of the kids? One of the parents has to stay home and watch these kids. When they're staying home watching the kids, how can they earn a living? This is going to be a tsunami of problems, and we're standing in front of it right now. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what we can expect. So please smash that like button. When you do, YouTube's going to share the content and educate more people as to what's really going on. So please smash that like button. Let's begin. First and foremost, I believe the eviction moratorium and the forbearance program, we will look back on this in 1 year's time and say, that was the worst thing that America has ever done to capitalism, to freedom, and to the middle class. What we're seeing now is a mindset
Exactly
built
what he
out
just
around
said.
these politicians that is I'll do for you. You don't have to do anything now. I'm going to give you a way out. I'm just going to take care of everything for you. And then essentially what happens is the middle class and most people build this false sense of security depending on these leaders. And when you have that level of dependence on these leaders, they essentially control every aspect of your life. So for that small bit of safety, that financial safety, we lose everything. And this is what we're going to see when this eviction moratorium and the forbearances, all this expires. We're going to see this was a horrible trap that everyone fell for. But what's interesting is they're starting this eviction moratorium with the tenants first. They're going to be relocated first, except California and New York. They're going to have a little bit more time. But the homeowners, they're going to get a little bit more time than the renters in most states. But that is only right around the corner. For example, the FHA extends the eviction moratorium for foreclosed loan borrowers. The Federal Housing Administration, FHA, today announced an extension of the moratorium on evictions for foreclosed borrowers and their occupants through September 30th, and noted the expiration of the foreclosure moratorium on July 31st. So this period, this foreclosed borrower period, which is happening in about 2 months, we're going to slowly start to see millions and millions of homeowners lose their homes, their family homes, all based on the lie that they could defer these payments. If your payment's $2,000 a month and you haven't paid in 16 months or 18 months, you might not have $30,000 to make good on that payment. And then
Unbelievable. All based on the lie that they could defer their payments. He said people are going to look back at this and say this is the worst decision ever made. California and New York have some extra time, but other states is going to start with the renters first. Millions of people are going to lose their homes. Millions of small business people that were landlords are going to lose their rental property because they could not pay the property taxes. You have places like Illinois and Chicago that triple property taxes to where people that did pay their houses outright, like Dave Ramsey says, be debt free and pay everything in cash, even though they had no mortgage on the home, they could not afford the increased pricing of the property taxes. And now you see it everywhere. Inflation, the cost of living for gas, groceries. And as he said in his video, what's going to happen when schools shut down? Because it will happen this fall. Winter is coming. The Bible has predicted it. Shemitah starts September the 7th. So what's going to happen when schools shut down and parents have to feed their children, especially the ones that were getting free lunch, free meals at least twice a day through the school system? What's going to happen to utility bills now that temperatures are reaching triple digit and people have to cool their home longer and lower temperatures than ever? What's going to happen? They're already paying farmers thousands of dollars to get rid of their food products. So now we're going to have a food shortage as well. And then what's going to happen when the numbers are even increased even more when the fall and winter months come in? So this is why, right? No, refinancing, when people have been put on with their mortgages and they have to pay that up front. And see, this is the thing about refinances. Your credit has to qualify as well as your income. So last year, they already started making changes through the credit system through FICO 9 and FICO 10. And then they came out with a resilience score. The resilience score means that they will look at the likelihood of your job, of you having a job, the likelihood that you will be gainfully employed, and they create a resilience score to approve you for credit. So even if refinances, people are going to have to qualify credit wise. And now you have people that's coming on late payments with credit cards because they're overusing, maxing out their credit cards because the cost of living is increasing. You have people that have misused and abused their stimulus and their federal unemployment. They bought new vehicles, new televisions, steaks, seafood, and they travel. Even with traveling prices increasing, people still travel. They spent their money in bad areas because they thought that the government kept extending moratoriums. They kept approving stimulus. And they never thought that the end of this would come. And they made bad financial decisions. They did not take their money and invest. They did not multiply their money. And so I have to get out this live stream because my home-based business have a presentation in exactly 45 minutes. I have 93 people in my home-based business organization that have, and I think I have maybe 15 to 20 that has just joined this year or this week within the last 2 weeks because they're receiving the $99 credit. So this is what the home-based business is about. I did have one person tell me, I don't like to recruit. Listen, this is not about recruiting. Number one, it helps you adjust your paycheck if you still will have a job. If you are a W-4 employee, if you are a 1099 employee or contractor, it helps you earn a passive income through the efforts and combined efforts and work from other people. See, it was John D. Rockefeller that says, I would rather earn 1% from 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. The very first thing that you have to realize during this recession or AKA depression is that you're going to have to use the efforts and leverage the effort and work and energy and vibration of other people in order to have income sources coming in. Now is not the time for solo. So for people that do have a job and will keep their jobs, if you have a W-4, these are two scenarios. This is called stop leaving money on the table. This person's name is Robert, right? Mr. Robert Refund, he gets a refund. He loves a refund. So we call him Robert Refund. He loves refund checks, right? So he does not adjust his W-4 and he chooses to buy things with his refund check. Now, a lot of people refund check January the 1st is going to be significantly thousands of dollars lower because they are getting child tax credit. So they're getting their money out of their refund checks upright. But now when these children are at home with them and it's more expensive, right? Because if schools shut down, which I believe will happen in the fall, now you're using that money and you're not saving it or you're not in a position to invest it. So Robert Refund, right, gets $500 a month overpaying taxes out of his paycheck, which equals to $6,000 a year. And he does this for 10 years because you do know RE means, again, you only get your money back again from the government at 0% interest. So Robert has $60,000 of taxes taken out. Now, that's not even including the money he's losing because the cost of living is increasing in inflation, and he's not gaining any interest on his money. But we have Angela adjustment. Angela decides, I'm going to invest $129 for the home-based business, and I'm going to allow experts to analyze my paycheck. And so Angela gets $500 addition take-home pay every pay period out of her paycheck. And she decides for 10 years that she's going to invest it at minimum of 8%. Now, you can do way better than this in crypto, right? Angela has $91,000 at the end of her 10 years, and she's able to keep up with the cost of living, whereas Robert only has $60,000. And that's the power of having a home-based business added to your paycheck. That's just one scenario, one example. Again, people ask, and that's without recruiting anybody but yourself. So again, this ends tonight, Eastern Standard Time, the $99 credit. If you want to get in, and you can earn additional passive income by sharing these opportunities with others, right? Wendell Williams, I love the names with the same alphabet letter. WW says he's in again. This is a great time to get in. Congratulations. I'll probably send you a text message when I wrap this up. I have 10 more minutes. And not only people don't understand. They think MLM, network, home-based business is about recruiting. It's not. You have to recruit yourself to want better first. You have to do a mindset shift. And this is why we have the mindset course that comes along with this as well. People, if you ever want your money to get right, your mind has to get right. So we have the Brian Bean, the Robert Johnson of this company, the ultra rich millionaire who just purchased 20 acres of land next to Denzel Washington's son and Ludacris in Georgia with a lake, right? Has this series to get your mindset right. See, your mindset has to be right to make money and for a recession. So these are free courses in order to help you do that. So don't think that the home-based business is trying to get you to recruit anybody. The first person you have to recruit for a better financial situation and position is you, yourself. People have spent I think $29. I think I said $119. It's a 99 from 228. People have spent $119 on the last couple of days like nothing, or months like nothing, on steaks, seafood, lobster, and more than that on televisions. But when you ask people to invest in this for their financial future to secure it, it's a mindset issue, right? The last thing I'm going to cover, so if you want to get in before this expires, before midnight Eastern Standard Time, text cash flow to my business phone, which is 601-720-2063. If you are fortunate to keep and have a job during this recession, you definitely need to get maximum cash flow out of your paycheck. Or if you are 1099, you definitely need another source of income stream coming in. Right? Definitely need another source of passive income, because the rich and wealthy understand how to make money off of other people and collaboration and connection. Right? Only people who think on a poor mindset think not to invest. That was the whole point of the parable in the Bible, the man that dug his money in the ground and hid the money after he had been given the money. Only poor people think not to invest and not to take action. Poor, passing over opportunities repeatedly. The very last thing I'm going to wrap up in 5 minutes is seed money. A lot of people have been giving into the seed sowing movement and cash apping me to do that. And so again, we said that sow means seeds opens wealth. And so here we have John D. Rockefeller, who throughout his life, he put his full trust in the law of seed and sowing, right? He said that he sowed, right, much. And he always envisioned the many times the multiplication of his gifts returning to him. So sowing, right? And then also Rockefeller knew the truth about the early biblical promise that all the land that you see it shall be yours. And he began to lay his claim on the infinite powers of the universe and accept this position to him. So he began to say, right, and he kept this a secret. I should not tell you all this. You know what? I'm going to end it right here. I'm going to have a private teaching for those who give seed. And I'm going to teach them how to manifest things, whether it's peace of mind, right? Peace of mind, perfect health during this recession. See, seed is just not about passing over opportunities repeatedly. It's about also positioning yourself to have peace of mind during this, perfect health, right? To have provision, to partnership, and according to Deuteronomy 1 and 11, may the Lord, our God, infinite powers, not only increase you 1,000 times more, but also bless you. Deuteronomy 1 and 11, right? And so I'm signing out again. If you want passive income, if you want a paycheck pay raise without having any products, then take advantage of a $99 credit, right? Of a $99 credit. I do have PayPal. I don't like PayPal that much. But I do have a PayPal. Let me see if I can find my PayPal link. And again, I have to get my people on because we have three. Thank you so much, CD. That is my PayPal link. So we have three um, ending this $99 credit for the home-based business that's scheduled to take place beginning in about 30 minutes. So let me text my people, text my list, text those persons on my team, right? So if you want to get in and take advantage of this, you have approximately 4 hours to do so, right? At midnight, it expires. So do not, Eastern Standard Time, do not text this number after midnight. Unless you want to pay full price for it tomorrow morning, which is still only $229. And that's for a business and to position yourself for this recession, right? So again, $99 credit ends tonight, Eastern Standard Time, midnight. Text 601-720-2063 to get in. And I always remember to magnify your mind, manifest with your mouth, right? Maximize your mission, people. Have a bigger mission. Have a bigger mission in life. Maximize your mission, right? And multiply your money. Multiply your money. Multiply your money. Poor people, I always think something is a fraud. Another thing, poor people. A poor mindset, passing over opportunities repeatedly. I always think something is a scam. According to Robert Kiyosaki and Rich Dad Poor Dad, I always think that something is a scam or a fraud. They think everything is a scam or a fraud except what's about to happen in this economy, right? I'm signing out. You all have a great, great day. Or evening, rather. Queen out.